I think it's really the only way, Rob, that you can look to stamp this out. Rangers have acted very well and swiftly, and with these suspensions and what Rangers are imposing to these people are showing that basically it's unacceptable. It's no longer acceptable in today's society, and certainly Rangers clearly don't want that to be any part of their football club moving forward. So, look, I think it's a wonderful message, and for sure it'll have people now maybe thinking a little bit more about what they say and how they act and what they do. So, well done to Rangers. I think they've definitely made the right decision and a very, very firm stance.
How has the sectarianism problem changed, Simon, say over the last 20 years?
I think it's always been there. I think nowadays, with racism as well, I think education, you look at everything that has happened throughout football, taking the knee and all this kind of stuff, raising awareness. I don't think it's ever went away, to be honest, but hopefully you can educate. I mean, you're talking about the boys there, they're all 20, you say 20,
19, 21, 24.
I've got a boy at 18 and he's just started going to Celtic games, and if I ever thought he was singing or chanting anything, I'd be ashamed of him, and I would go out my way to try and educate him. It does start with parents, I suppose. But these, I mean, I've seen the video, and I've got no time for that carry on. It's just, we can't tolerate it. But it was, the overriding thing from the video was it was all young boys. Young boys that are singing and probably half of them don't even know what they're singing. So it's an education. Rangers are taking a strong stance with it, which is great. And if it's banning kids or fans from watching their team, hopefully it strikes home. Hopefully they reassess and hopefully they stop doing it, educate themselves. But I was really surprised with the age group thing. As I say, it maybe hit me more because I've got a kid that age. But no, you can't tolerate it.
I mean, in the chants against Kyogo, it was a group of fans inside a minibus.
Bus.
I think it was a bus or a minibus, and I guess some of those who've been caught up in this will feel they're innocent victims who weren't doing anything wrong. They will reckon, but maybe just by being part of that, they are guilty of something as well by letting it happen. Maybe they feel they weren't letting it happen. But if innocents get caught up in all this, is that just the way it has to be, Craig, if stiff punishments are going to be handed out?
Yeah, look, it's a really difficult one, Rob, because, for example, maybe the supporter bus, there's people on there that maybe had nothing to do with that situation, and then you can turn around and say, well, yeah, but they were there, they could have done something about the situation. But again, you don't know what that environment's like. And again, at times we want to stand up for ourselves or stand up for other people, but something also could happen or be inflamed by talking up, or so you just don't know. And sometimes that environment it can change very, very quickly and become very dangerous. So the punishments I strongly believe in that have been taken. There are going to be people, unfortunately, that are maybe collateral damage in terms of they've been part of, they've been there, not been able to do anything about it. The supporters bus is now banned. There's people that would have had nothing to do with that. The people that were part of that supporters club that weren't even on that bus, and that's the whole club. So they're all suffering. But it's back down to, it's the minority. It really is a minority of people that are doing these things. I'd like to think that the majority of us, are decent human beings and go about our lives in the right manner. It's just it's a minority, and unfortunately, because of that, sometimes some other people are having to be part of that process or that decision, and affects them also.
These people are not big on intelligence, obviously. If they were, they would probably realise that nowadays, unlike 10, 15, 20 years ago, you're not going to get away with it. There was a time where you probably thought, well, nobody's going to see this, we're going to be okay. Not nowadays. Everything is captured on video.
Yep, and that's where you quite rightly say it's a lack of intelligence, videoing themselves and then sticking it up on social media.
Ignorance.
Ignorance. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous about a fantastic football player that's came and actually lightened things up for Celtic and Scottish football. You know, I'd like to think as a country we were welcoming to anybody coming from other countries to play in our league and enhance it. So yeah, as I say, it's been dealt with harshly, people might think, but I think banning people from football, if they are football fans, that's what will hurt them, and it will maybe make them think, you know, twice about doing it again.
Tell Alexa to launch Go Radio or listen on the Go Radio app.